3, 2, 1. Oh, man.
Sounded perfect to me.
Really? My clap sounded at the same time as your clap?
Just about, yeah.
Okay. Well, definitely not the same on my end. Mine goes 3, 2, 1, clap, then clap. So I guess there's just a delay. I think there's distance. You're out in California.
Yeah, I don't think that's how this works, though.
It shouldn't, right? It should be pretty instant.
Yeah.
So unless you're just like really slow on your end,
and
3, 2, 1, clap, and you go.
I'm pretty sure if it was a thing, it'd be based on your internet's connection. And I'm pretty sure that mine's all right. I mean, I don't know. This is the theater's housing, so I don't know if they opted for the high speed here, but
I'm sure nothing but the best for the students.
I'm not a fucking student. I'm a professional. They got to do some shit for me. I'm a fucking professional.
That's why they threw you in student housing.
I'm not in student housing. Who told you I was in student housing? This isn't a fucking campus.
Isn't that what you just said?
Not at all. Not at all. You never listen.
Okay, so it's not student housing. It
not
is
at all. It is a studio apartment.
Oh, studio. I heard student.
What are you talking about?
Come on, you would love to be back in college right now.
No, I wouldn't. No, I would not. The last gig I was on a college campus, and you remember what happened there.
Hanging out with the boys. The all-male dorm, Hale Hall.
Oh, thank you.
What? Tell me a little bit. Where are you right now?
I'm in
for our audience. In the Sacktown.
Sacktown.
Sacramento.
AKA Capital City. The capital city of California, actually.
Yeah, okay.
I'm literally like I'm on Capitol Street in Sacramento. I'm like a couple blocks up from the actual Capitol. So if I had any issues with California, I could run over to the Capitol and let them know about it.
Okay.
I'm not going to. I think I like Cali too much now.
Oh, really?
Now, granted, this is only my second time ever being here, but this whole just walk into a dispensary and buy weed is is enough.
Well,
tell me
that process, because I'm here in New York, and if I want to get some weed, I got to call a dude. He's got to come to my house. I got to feed him. He's got to charge me a lot, and then leave.
While
my kids are sleeping.
I'm not gonna. I mean, you know how it is to get. See, I have a completely different routine in New York when I get weed.
Okay.
I ain't feeding no drug dealer, especially based on how drug dealers roll. And you probably have a much better drug dealer in New York than I have, because my drug dealer is the worst. Like, if there was a better business bureau for drug dealers, I would have reported him several times over.
You could totally have my dealer, by the way. They'll come to you.
Oh, I didn't figure they came that far into the hood. Although technically,
you do not live that far in the hood. I've been to your place.
I mean, okay, look. Let's be real. Where I lived for the longest time in history has been the hood.
Yes.
Just because a bunch of white folk have now moved in and there are coffee shops,
podcasts and, there,
and yoga studios and shit, doesn't mean it's any less of the hood. It's still the hood.
It's still the hood.
It's still the hood. My drug dealer still lives on the same block as I do.
It's like caviar on barbecue. That's what's going on in your neighborhood.
Well, I've only ever had caviar a handful of times too. And
don't eat the
I didn't
barbecue.
Hate it.
That's not good. It's
not great
on sushi.
You had it on sushi? I had it on like a Triscuit cracker with like, what's that white stuff? It's not sour cream, but it's like sour
they call
cream.
that butter. No. You're talking about oh my god, creme fraiche.
I'll slap the shit out of you.
That was serious.
That
was a joke. I didn't mean creme fraiche.
I will reach. Like, I hope Dad's listening to this and be like, what the fuck is he talking about?
There's a hand coming through the mic.
Choke the shit out of you. What the fuck
is
he talking about?
Go back. So you go into this weed store. Tell me about your experience.
Okay,
and you're
no,
sick.
I haven't gone yet. I've been too sick to do anything.
Well, apologize for being sick first, everybody.
I will not apologize for being
sick. Because it sounds flimmy.
I am fucking phlegmy. But here I am devoted to the cause, putting in the work when I should be laying down and Dayquilling the shit out of myself. That's called dedification. I think that'd apologize for my dedication. I refuse. Adamantly, defiantly. We will not go gently into that dark night, Lawrence.
But how dark of the night would it be if you were actually on a whole bottle of Dayquil right now and we were trying to record the podcast?
I don't know. It'd probably be a whole different kind of session. You know what? I think I'm going to put that on the junket for next week. Even if I'm not sick, I'm just going to drink a bottle of Dayquil and do the show.
So, here's some things you can do in Sacramento.
Well, you didn't let me get to the dispensary talk.
We haven't gone.
Exactly. Yeah, motherfucker.
Dispensary talk done?
So, apparently, most of y'all out there who know me know that I travel with Bud. I hope the FAA isn't listening, or the TSA isn't listening.
They don't care.
They really don't. And that's why I travel with Bud primarily.
All right, so you brought your own.
I did, but as it turned out, I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And it was something I was vacillating with before I left New York. I was like, I'm going to California, and I think it won't be that easy to run it down. But I never want to assume anything, especially when it comes to Bud and knowing who I am. So I brought it with me anyway, and then I got here, and then literally 2 blocks up and 1 block over from the theater is a dispensary. And so me and one of my other castmates, or whatever, we were both trying to suss each other out to be like, hey, is this person cool enough to ask whether or not Cut to, it was literally like someone in the theater was like, oh yeah, it's 2 blocks up and 1 block over. And I was like, what? Literally... you need to be 21 and have a valid ID, and they'll walk you through. The motherfucker said a term to me I had never heard before. The people who sell you Bud. I don't even remember what he said. It was
hempologist.
No, he was the Bud
Dr.
Bud
Weed
something or other. It was something I'd never heard before, but was really the most appropriate name for somebody who would be boutique selling you Bud.
Right
now. I might take a walk up there today because I'm off today. So if I'm not still fucking feverish, I think I might take a walk to this dispensary
just walk in there and just cough a lot. Just I need some weed.
No. I think they will immediately call the cops on me.
No, they'll give you weed and get you out of there.
What I will do is I'll walk in there and start singing. That song
in the rain.
No, motherfucker. I'm talking about Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But come with me and you'll be in a world of pure imagination.
You sound like Tom Waits right now.
that's kind of gangster.
It's the Black Tom Waits. Okay, so there's some Sacramento facts I'd like to get out of the way first. Sacramento has a Mediterranean climate, which means mild winters and pretty hot in the summer. It is home to 500,000 residents in the official city, along with 1.9 million in the surrounding towns. It is located 90 miles northeast of San Francisco. In Sacramento alone, you will find the Sacramento Ballet, the Sacramento Opera, and the Sacramento Theater Company, along with the California Musical Theater, the latter of which hosts Broadway's touring companies whenever they come to town. And that's it. This is actually pretty freaking boring.
Well, and there's
there is a shot of a train that looks like it's from Back to the Future, but I don't know if that's the official Back to the Future 3 train, which would be cool if that was Sacramento's one claim to fame.
It's not.
It's not. Its claim to fame is that you're there right now.
It's one of them. I'm here with Peter Story, who is, Evansville alum, and as far as I can tell, the mayor of the B Street Theater out here.
What's up, Peter? How's it going, man?
Oh, I'm fine.
Peter, can you hear me?
Can
you hear us?
If he was He could if he was here right now.
Oh, you're not here literally with... Sorry, my bad.
You're an idiot.
It's Sacramento's new Paradise Island with miniature golf, indie race cars, bumper boats, family rides, birthday parties, and more at Cal Expo.
So my cousin was in the news.
Oh, wait. Cousin Dave?
No, cousin Doug. Little
Oh,
Douglas.
okay.
Not Uncle Doug, but Doug's son, Douglas.
Okay.
Less of the Doug than Uncle Doug, but somehow also more. It's weird.
You said less of a Doug than Uncle Doug?
Yeah, because his name is Douglas.
Okay. I see.
So the article
Play
is
on words.
titled "Man Apprehended After Shooting at Two Cars on Colonial Drive."
Wait, what?
Yep. This is
Wait.
Florida, by the way.
Wait. All right, wait. Hang on.
You want me to read that again?
Hang on. No. Let me
Get yourself ready for this.
Let me just try to suss out what I think you just said. Did you say that your cousin Douglas was involved in a shooting in Florida?
In a manner of speaking, yes.
Well,
Man apprehended
okay.
after shooting at two cars on Colonial Drive.
So they apprehended him, but he didn't actually do any of the shooting.
Well, here's the article. Shortly before 10 p.m., a caller reported they saw a suspect with a beard crash into a vehicle near Fern Creek Avenue and East Colonial Drive. When the caller pulled over into a nearby vacant lot, the suspect got out of his car and began shooting rounds at his own car before turning and shooting several rounds at the caller's car. Police established a perimeter and apprehended the suspect, who was walking away from the scene. Owners recovered the gun and shell casings. So guess who the caller's car was?
It was
It's
your cousin
Douglas.
Doug's.
Cousin Douglas. Yeah.
So your cousin Douglas called the cops, and the guy turned around and shot his car up.
Yep.
All right.
That's Florida for you.
As you do. Now, your facts about Sacramento sucked. So I'm going to help our friends out. And, oh, by the way, this is what we into. I know we're about 15 minutes into this actual recording, and we haven't actually said who we are or what we're doing. But this is what we into. I'm your boy, Rob Karma Robinson, and as always, that's that motherfucker.
Lauren style. I like that. That's
man.
my thing. I'll be that motherfucker. There you go. Perfect.
But here's some more fun facts, some actual facts about Sacramento that might be more intriguing to our listeners. Since 1879, it has been the capital of California and nicknamed the River City due to the neighboring Sacramento and American rivers. It was originally intended to be an agricultural community under John Sutter in 1839, which is why they got a
John Sutter.
which is probably why they have a fort. There's a fort like right in the middle of the city called Fort Sutter, and I guess
It's
it's
just
like
a coincidence.
I think it's a historical spot because the other day I was on my way to Duane Reade. I saw like two horse-drawn covered wagons being pulled up to a fort.
All right.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, "What the fuck going on around here?"
Do you think,
but as
do
it
you
turns
think that
out,
there is this is sidebar real quick. Do you think that there is a pot dispensary called Duane Weed? Go on. Just go on.
I'm just gonna.
Hold on, man.
Sacramento.
I just got to stop into the Duane Weed.
So Sacramento transformed into a trading epicenter once gold was discovered in the foothills and the gold rush commenced. And Sacramento is home to 11,762 nonprofits, second only to Washington, D.C.
Oh, shit.
Holy shit!
Why don't you get our nonprofit status while you're there, buddy?
Yo, I might have to look into it, my dude. I definitely might have to look into it.
Apparently, they'll just approve anything out there in Sacramento.
I mean, it's such a progressive bastion, man. This is, progressive bastion, dude.
Give us one more Sacramento fact before I move on to more Willow news.
Apparently, I can't stop sweating out here.
Yeah.
That just may be the fever.
Which is weird because it's supposed to be dry heat out there in Cali, in the Mediterranean climate.
I'm pretty sure I brought this shit from fucking New York with me, to be honest with you. It doesn't make any sense. I basically woke up and then got to the airport and ran a fever the entire time there, and that is sort of subsequently transpired into what is now my sickly body.
I'm glad that you got the coronavirus after you left me.
Yeah. But
Well,
I'm
put
gonna
a lime
survive
in
it.
it, bud.
I'm gonna survive it, so I'm not gonna be like one of these just give up the ghost because the flu came through type motherfuckers.
Yeah, that's
I'm
only
not-
for the infirm and elderly, anyways.
I mean, and let's be honest, nobody dies anymore. Nobody dies.
Oh, I bet my body will challenge you on that.
Wait, you okay? No, you can't just die because as Godfather, that doesn't leave me with a whole bunch of responsibilities.
Oh,
that-
you can split
let's
it
be
with my
honest.
sister.
You've been saying this, but Charlotte has never agreed to that. Never once. She's been like, "Oh yeah, sure, we'll do that together." And I don't want that when it happens, and I call to her, and I'm like, "So you remember when we were talking about?" She's like, "I never agreed to that, Rob." And then I'll be there with egg on my fucking face.
That's
Looking
not
like an asshole.
that's not how like Godfather and Godmother things work. Parent dies, you get stuck with the kids.
I understand that. I'm saying I'm not trying to put that on nobody else. But this sounds like you just really want to just give up the ghost and let me handle it. It sounds like you trying to step off a curb and just be like, Rob will handle this.
Rob will handle this.
I'm trying
All right,
say,
well, during a recent interview with Collider, Ron Howard confirmed that he is indeed developing a Willow television series for Disney Plus with Warwick Davis. The last time we talked about Willow, it was just kind of rumors, and Warwick did not, or at least was not able to say definitively one way or another if they could do the show. But it looks like, according to Ron, it's happening.
Okay, that was an interesting segue. But yeah, this, in case you hadn't figured out yet, news.
He says, we are developing Willow for Disney Plus, and I don't know about directing or not, but John Kasdan is writing. He's very passionate about it. He's doing a great job. We don't have a green light yet. Oh, come on, Ron. Like, I don't want to get halfway through the article and realize that like it's all just bullshit. This is exactly what we said last
That's what
time.
it sounds like to me. Yeah, exactly. Didn't I say that shit? I'm almost positive I said that shit. But all right, now go ahead.
He does say that Warwick will be in it. Warwick is so cool and so good, and he's such a good actor, and I really hope that we get a chance to see the mature Willow in action.
How old is Warwick now? That's my question.
I don't know,
old
man.
is that dude?
Let's look him up.
Because I feel like he must. I feel like Warwick is the peer to like Harrison Ford. I feel like
He's 10 years older than us, so he's approaching
Warwick is
50.
he's
He was born
only
in
10 years older than us?
Yeah, 1970s.
Oh, wow.
50 years old.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that surprises me. That honestly surprises me. I definitely thought he was much older.
He's married to Samantha Davis. Looks like they have 2 kids. Yeah,
Is Samantha
3
Davis,
kids.
Is Samantha Davis a little person, or is she a regular sized person? I don't know. What would you call her?
She's taller than him by almost a foot, but still pretty
But
short because he's
but
tiny.
She's a little person.
Yeah, she's a little person.
Okay, that makes sense. And so their kids are their kids subsequently then little people as well?
It looks that way, but I can't exactly tell.
Because it doesn't sort of like you're
think
not
it
sewed up
skips.
for life. If you have little person parents, you could ostensibly then be a normal size person because it's is it a recessive gene?
I don't know, but I think I just learned, and I don't actually want to click on more, but it looks like he's had 4 kids and 2 of them have died.
Oh, bummer. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Oh,
Sorry, Warwick.
yeah,
That's damn. That's awful.
yikes. That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
You know what might and will probably be a lot, but hopefully not too much, but just enough. But I have very, very low expectations for it. Indiana Jones 5 starts shooting in 2 months, says Harrison Ford.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
Do you think it'll be a big hit? Do you think people are going to come out for Indiana Jones 5?
What do you think? What do you think? When was the last Indiana Jones movie that we as a culture had and enjoyed? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Oh, it was the 3rd one. I mean, there's only 4. It's not like
Right.
there's a lot. But
Right.
Whenever that was, like 1991?
Yeah, motherfuckers. So
Something like that?
And we are now in 2020.
Yeah.
Okay? So yeah, no, I don't feel like it's going to be a hit. I don't, because I feel like, one, Indy is old.
Yeah.
He's old. And Go ahead.
I was going to say Kingdom of Crystal Skull was my most disappointing movie of all time.
You've said that. You've spoken about it on the podcast.
Yes.
You've said it.
Yes.
And I think it was for a lot of people because up until that point we hadn't had an. It was the same. It suffered from the same thing that that first Star Wars or the prequel Star Wars suffered from.
Yeah.
It garnered a lot of hype and a lot of joy from the fan base because we hadn't had an Indiana Jones movie in some time, and so there was a lot of hope that the return of Indy would be something great. And then we saw it, and we were like, "What the fuck did we just see?"
Yeah, it's awful. Oof.
It was so bad.
So bad.
Like I can't think of one thing redeeming about that film.
Yeah.
I can't think of one thing redeeming about it.
Harrison Ford's going to be 77 with this.
No. Yeah, no.
We're entering into like Picard era Indiana Jones.
You know what they're going to fuck around and do? You know what they're going to fuck around and do? They're going to fuck around and de-age him.
Yep.
And do some kind of fuckery. And I'm not hopeful. I'm really not.
If future you came out of this movie theater and you were like, actually that was pretty good, what was the thing that you just saw?
Not an Indiana Jones film, probably.
It has to be Indiana Jones. That's the thing. You come out of Indiana Jones 5.
I don't know what to say because I can't see this being anything other than a terrible idea. That's where I am right now.
What if he's just old and he's not running around doing Indiana Jones stuff?
Then
you know
what
I
the
mean?
fuck is the point?
Well,
then what's the point?
Maybe it's actually like because they tried
a highly
to pass
intellectual experience based on this archaeologist who we've seen basically for fucking 4 movies punch out Nazis while riding tanks and fuckery.
So you don't think
What's
this
he
could
gonna
be
do, sit in a chair?
You don't think this could be the film where he passes along his famed archaeological crown to some other Shia LaBeouf type character?
Well, wouldn't he and shouldn't he have done that in the movie where his son and his estranged wife were in? Wouldn't that have been the most? So he did do that. Yeah,
he did. They just don't want to bring Shia LaBeouf back.
Yeah, no. Well, we'll see. Yeah, no.
What about Short Round?
That motherfucker 50 now.
Well, I know, but that's still younger than 77.
So wait. So you want them to bring back a character from one of the first films?
Yeah.
To then be no.
Yeah.
No.
It didn't have to be literally that actor. You know what I mean? It could be
I think it does have to literally be that actor. I think that's the same dude. That's the same actor from fucking the Goonies. That's Data from the Goonies.
Yeah. What about
so if
Harold?
You don't bring him back. What? You mean what's his face? Penn? Cal Penn? No.
Yeah.
Cal Penn's the Indian guy. Something Cho. John Cho? Cho.
John Cho. He'd be good.
Yeah, I think that's a Short Round.
Yeah.
Nah, I think he needs to focus on getting himself healed so he can finish fucking Cowboy Bebop. Because
he got injured?
Yeah. You didn't hear about this? I thought we reported this. Yeah, he broke himself up on the shooting for Cowboy Bebop has been put on hiatus because John Cho injured himself on set, and I think pretty badly because they had to stop shooting completely.
Okay, John, forget about Indiana Jones 5. Even though they want you back, forget that. Get better and make Cowboy Bebop good.
Yeah. So no John Cho.
Did you hear the news about the Goonies that you just brought up?
I did not hear the news about the Goonies. I've been sick all week, so no.
Yeah, I know. So that's perfect because I heard the news, and I'm going to tell you all about it, Rob. Just sit back with your chicken noodle soup.
Well, tell our world followers all the good news.
Yes. So it's not exactly a sequel to Goonies, the 1985 classic.
What?
It's a TV show. Okay. This is Fox. Fox is making this. They ordered a TV pilot about a substitute teacher who helps 3 of her students shoot their own version of the movie Goonies.
What?
The show is about kids doing a shot-for-shot remake of Goonies. Not unlike what fans have done with Raiders of the Lost Ark and Toy Story 3, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Greg Mottola, who wrote Superbad and Paul, is directing the pilot. and it's going to be under Amblin Entertainment, under that kind of umbrella, that E.T. was in and all that
E.T.,
stuff.
yeah.
You want the official summary? Here we go. After failing to make it in New York and carrying a heavy secret with him, Rob Robinson goes to Sacramento. No, excuse me. Stella Cooper returns to her distressed automotive hometown to substitute teach. She finds inspiration, hope, and ultimately salvation when she agrees to help 3 students who are pursuing their filmmaking dreams by putting on an impossibly ambitious shot-for-shot remake of one of their favorite movies, The Goonies. Over the course of the season of the potential series, their passion will inspire a town in desperate need of hope in this love letter to the power of cinema, storytelling, and dreams.
Sure.
You think it's going to be terrible?
Why not just make a fucking Goonies sequel? Why not just make a sequel? Why sort of like wrap it in this other this love letter to cinema? Like, fuck all that. All that. We've had mad love letters to cinema for all the good it's done us.
Yeah.
Just make a good sequel. I don't know, man. Maybe that's just the embittered, jaded version of me speaking, but what you just described there doesn't sound like it's worth the paper that they will Xerox to print that shit on. That's just me.
Did you ever see the version of the Goonies that actually had the octopus or the giant?
Of course
squid?
I had. Of course I did. They showed it on the Disney Channel only a handful of times.
Yeah.
Because I can only remember seeing that version a handful of times.
It sort of kind of breaks the movie in a way.
Does it? I thought it was awesome.
It probably depends how old you were. Like, because I think I grew up with the original version where they just mention it at the end, and somebody's like, "Hey, the octopus was really scary," and as a kid, you were just like, "What are you talking about?" He made that up.
That's what it always bothered me, because I remember seeing what would ended up being the theatrical release version without that scene. I saw that one first, and then it wasn't until a couple years later on the Disney Channel that I did actually see the original. Well, I guess the full format of that. And I was blown away. I was like, oh my God, that makes all the sense in the world. So of course, at the end of the movie, when she's talking about the octopus, it just seemed like something that they could have, that somebody who was paid a lot more money than you and I at this particular juncture should have caught in the theatrical release. Because they could have just omitted that line. She didn't have to have that line at the end about the octopus. It was garish. You didn't have to have it.
I liked it, though, because, like, in my headcanon, what I thought was that,
she's a liar.
No. Well, yeah, she's a liar, but also that they...
Damn, dude.
It brought into question how much of what had happened was their imaginations, in a way.
And see, I didn't have any of that. I was like, imagination. No, I was like, these motherfuckers went on a legitimate adventure. No, imagination be damned. They found a dead body.
It was real.
It was legitimate. Like, there was nothing about it that was like, oh, through the power of our own imagination, this shit happened. No, fuck all that. So when I saw the scene with the octopus, I was like, oh, this is incredible. And this also makes basically what it did for me is it validated Andy's up until that point lie at the end. I was like, she wasn't lying. She was dead ass.
You can watch it on YouTube again. It looks kind of shitty, to be quite honest.
Well, yeah, it's definitely bad. Like it's some of the worst practical effects that you've ever seen in that juncture of film. But I still loved it. I loved it because they defeat it by stuffing a Walkman, apparently a waterproof Walkman, in its mouth and playing music.
I didn't remember that. That's great.
It's insane and absurd. But it also makes sense that you would get to the point at the end where you're like, oh yeah, and the octopus was a scary thing, and you're like, she does. She's like, oh, Andy doesn't have head trauma. She actually did see an octopus.
Do you think they'll shoot that in the shot-for-shot remake of this TV show?
Well, if they don't, I've already written the show off, and I don't think they will. So if they don't, it just confirms everything that I thought about this process.
But Rob, what did you think about the new Batman suit?
The Pattinson joint?
Yeah, did you see it yet?
I did. He looks thin, bro. I gotta be honest.
He looks thin, right?
He looks. I mean, did they give you? I didn't see a full head to toe. I only caught like the top part of the cowl. And the cowl
that's
has like
it.
has a little cape. No, not a cape, but a little like collar on it.
Sure. So what we're talking about is Robert Pattinson in his Caped Crusader costume, courtesy of the Batman director Matt Reeves, who posted the camera test of this shoot. And it's really dark, and you can't really see a lot. But he looks essentially like Daredevil, right?
Yeah. Well, even the guy who playing Daredevil has got like the muscle structure to look like a superhero.
Right.
Like from what I'm and this is coming from like past reports about how like they were mad concerned about how he just wasn't bulking up enough for the job.
Right.
I
didn't hear that. Was that a concern that he wasn't getting big enough?
Yes, that was a concern. Earlier on in the scheduling of this, I forget where it was reported. You could probably backtrack and find some of the articles about it, but they had some concerns that he wasn't big enough to do it, and based on the little bit of the picture that we got to see of him, he still looks mad thin.
Yeah, he's a thin guy. He's 6'1", so he's definitely taller than me.
He's tall enough. He's tall enough to play it, but I don't like the body type that he has is just under what it should be to play this with like alacrity and truth.
Yeah,
to be like considered. Oh, this is a guy who's, you know what I'm saying.
I think you could.
He's got a dancer's body.
You could have said that about Christian Bale and Michael Keaton, though. I think back in the day they did not have
I disagree because at the end of the day, when Keaton and Bale were both doing the Batmans, they were full grown men. They were like well into their manhood. How old is Pattinson? He's maybe like just under us in age, like maybe 30, some shit.
He's 5 years younger than us. He's 1986, so
1986.
Yeah, 5 years younger than you, and then 6 years younger than me.
So he's mid 30. He just
Yeah.
For whatever reason, he just doesn't look like he has the weight up for it.
Not yet.
Bale
yeah.
at least did. Bale it definitely did, and
Yeah.
and you never really got to see Keaton. You know, he's always in suits and things like that. But yeah,
I just don't know how much it matters if they film it right. You know.
You're right. You know, that at the end of the day is the truth. That at the end of the day is the truth. But like I said, I always thought he was just a little thin framed for it, man. He's a little thin.
Right.
You got anything else?
How are you looking forward? How much are you looking forward to this? Are you into it? Not into it?
I love Batman, so I'm always going to be into it. I'm not so sure about Pattinson per se, because he's a Brit, right? He's a Brit, right?
He is. Is he a Brit? Yeah, he's a Brit. Oh my God! What kind of British man playing Batman?
I never said that. But
he's from Gotham.
I never said that.
Gotham's American.
I never said that, but it should be brought up that this is probably the first Brit or the first non-American to, helm the cowl. And I think that's that got to be something said about that.
The other rumor about the suit is that the bat symbol is somehow made out of the gun that killed his parents.
What?
Don't know what that means. I saw it and was like, okay, and then moved on.
So he found the gun that killed his parents?
Maybe. This is supposed to be kind of like year one, like him becoming Batman, but not so I guess like an origin story, but like not Batman Begins.
Just hearing that kind of turns me off a little bit to this, because we don't need another Batman origin story.
No, we don't.
Everybody knows that fucking origin story. We've had several decades and movies to know how Batman becomes Batman. I don't need another Batman origin story.
Yeah, we need like a Batman that we don't care about where he is. He's like not old and gristled, but he's not so like young and green. He's like right there in his prime. That's the kind of the Batman we need, I think.
I don't know, man. I really want to be more excited about this outing, but I'm just like everything that I've been sort of like tertiarily hearing about it, and even secondarily hearing about it, has made it so like, do I want to see this? And right now, sitting in Sacramento with a fever and a bottle of wine in my hand, I gotta be like, no, I don't.
So if it was on TV right now, you wouldn't watch it? I think
if it was on TV,
yeah.
If it was on TV, yeah, I probably would tune in and then have some thoughts on it. But if I'm gonna see it for free, yes.
Okay. What did you end up with a TV at your place?
Yeah, I've got a great TV at my place. Have you not seen me online every night since I've been here?
No, I haven't at all. On the PlayStation. So you brought your PlayStation?
Yeah, of course I did.
Cool.
Of course I did.
When you brought it on the plane, did it get jealous when the plane started up that it sounded just like itself?
Oh, that's a terrible joke, but
Yep. Yes,
okay,
yes.
yeah, we'll let you have it. We'll let you have it. Have you heard this bit of news? Marvel reveals husband and first gay superhero couple, and it's that motherfucker from Atlanta. Or he's one of them.
Yeah, it's the dude from the and you're talking about the Eternals. Right?
It must be, right? It must be.
Yes.
It was big news when rumors started to break that Marvel would truly finally get a gay superhero. Slowly, blah, blah, blah. Yep, the Eternals film, and been confirmed by Marvel itself. So far, here we go. Brian Tyree Henry, who's playing, that's awesome, Phastos in the film, will be the first gay Marvel superhero with an on-screen love interest. He's said to be married with a child, and all of this is to be depicted on screen. Okay.
All right.
Let me see. They were interviewing in a new interview. Okay. This is the other guy in it. His name is Hans or Haaz. Haaz Sleman?
Slyman? Yep.
Slyman?
He's playing the husband, right?
Yeah. I just shot a Marvel film with the first openly gay superhero, the Eternals, Slyman told New Now Next in a recent interview. I'm married to the gay superhero Phastos, played by Atlanta's Brian Tyree Henry, and we represent a gay family and have a child. Okay.
Cool. He says. He also says here about a kiss. He says, "Oh yeah, absolutely,"
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful, very moving kiss. Everyone cried on set. For me, it's very
are you reading?
important.
I think you're reading the same. Like, is it? Are you reading Out? Is it from the article? Are you reading from the website Out?
I'm reading from my own reports when I was on scene. Getting
right, of course,
getting
that makes sense.
Information because I go out every week and track down this stuff. Here's a direct quote to me. And he says that Brian Tyree Henry is such a tremendous actor and brought so much beauty into this part. And at one point, I saw a child in his eyes. Ooh, that sounds painful. And I think it's important for the world to be reminded that we in the queer community were all children at one point. We forget that because we're always depicted as sexual or rebellious. We forget to connect on that human part. We were making fun of it a second ago, but that is actually a very good quote.
Well, two men of color kissing on screen in a Marvel film, raising children, and one is a superhero?
Big deal.
That's kind of fucking huge.
Do you think it's lame that they had to be like eternal super
super
outer space people?
Yeah, they have to be basically ostensibly gods in order for that to be okay.
Yeah. Kind of lame, right?
It's kind of lame, but at the same time, let's applaud any strong movement forward that allows us to, represent motherfuckers better and
for sure.
Get over our fucking selves a little bit.
He's also Arab.
Yeah, that's two people of color. Two people of color having this. That's it's impressive. You know what I'm saying?
But where is the white gay representation in Marvel? That's what I'm looking for. And I don't mean just Joe Russo for 5 minutes in Endgame. I mean, I'm outraged.
I can't burp any harder than that, but we don't.
That was pretty good. While we're on it, Miss Marvel is reportedly starts filming this summer and will appear in the first MCU film soon after that. Great. And
you're talking about Kamala Khan, the character.
Yeah, Kamala Khan in the Miss Marvel character. So they're making the Disney Plus TV show that starts shooting. that starts shooting in summer, and then apparently she's going to be probably in Captain Marvel 2.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense because they shared the name, and at one point in the comic books, Captain Marvel and Captain Marvel have a meetup, and they're like, "Oh shit, what's up?"
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. I don't know how excited to be about this yet. I mean, in general, I'm excited about all Marvel property. I thought I thought the TV spots that they showed us on the Super Bowl, which happened a couple weeks ago, that looked good. It looked like a movie. It didn't look like a TV show, which I think is great.
Did we talk about those? Yeah, we did, right?
No, we haven't. I don't think we've recorded since then because we kind of took a week off we did a week for the interview, and then this you going out to Sacramento kind of cut into a week. So I don't think we talked about Super Bowl or the Oscars.
Oh wow! They happened, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and we didn't watch them.
Yeah, God no. Why would we? Why would we? I did hear about it the day after, and kind of eye rolled so hard that one of my eyes got stuck in my head. So about half a day, I had what are those lizards that have the weird eyes that just work independent of each other?
Those are called the Rob Karma Robinson lizard.
No, that's not an actual thing.
Those are called
chameleons. Doesn't matter. My eye got stuck because I rolled them so hard after. Not because Parasite won, but because the Oscars knew exactly what they were doing by giving Parasite Best Picture.
Which was what?
Which was turning around to show the world. See, we're cool. Look, we gave the foreign language film Best Picture, but everything else other than I think he got Best Picture and Best Director, right? That's what they gave it to him for?
I think so. I didn't watch it, but I think that's what I heard, yeah.
Typically, that has to... typically, if the best film doesn't get Best Director, that's a rarity. But all the other categories, all the ones that are, the major ones, the Best Actor, Supporting, all of those was sewed up by the monochromatic type motherfuckers. Which is fine.
Yeah.
But it's basically the same shit that they did the year when the hashtag Oscars So White was running rampant across motherfuckers.
We're talking about Moonlight? Was that the year Moonlight?
Yes.
I just watched that yesterday, by the way, and we'll talk about it in the coming episode.
But you just watched it as in you hadn't seen it before now?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It was like one of those things that I missed in theaters, and I kept trying to get my wife to watch it with me, and then she didn't want to watch it, and then I finally...
Do you always have to get Laurel to watch stuff with you if you want to watch it?
No, but it's... it's like
it's just easier?
It's like, yeah, because there's, I think my other option is to put it on at 12 o'clock at night and probably fall asleep to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely fall asleep.
Because the nights that she's home or that I get home early enough to watch a movie, anyways, whatever. She also doesn't really... She doesn't want to watch those kinds of things, to be quite honest.
Really?
Yeah.
Her idea... You ever ask her why?
She's just not into that kind of, thing.
Storytelling.
It's storytelling, right?
It's fucking storytelling.
It's storytelling. I think for her, she doesn't know what it is, and so she sees Moonlight and she sees black representation like that, and I think to her, she thinks this is a topical issue movie, and I don't want to watch a topical issue movie likely about racism. In her mind, is what she's probably thinking. I'm speaking for her. Yeah, a white male speaking for a woman. But I think she just doesn't...
A woman of color at that. So
a woman of color, exactly. So I think that she would rather... Exactly. I think she would rather watch something sci-fi or something more fantastical. That's generally what she likes to watch anyway. So it's just not her type of... Social dramas are not her thing, to be quite honest.
Interesting.
But there were two connections to Super Bowl. Not connection, but two things I thought about.
But you guys saw Parasite, though, right?
We saw Parasite. She liked Parasite, yeah.
That's a social fucking drama.
It is, and it's wrapped up in kind of this... Well, you haven't seen it yet, so I won't...
No, I haven't.
It's a social commentary movie for sure.
And she was good with that.
Good with that, yeah. I think because... And there was also she was a little hesitant at first about that, but she likes the guy's other movies. She really likes The Host. She's a fan of Snowpiercer. She's never saw Mother. I had to watch Mother by myself. That was one of his other movies.
Mother's also really good. The guy's he's had a really good track record as far as making fucking dope pictures.
Bong Joon-ho, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And see, that's cool because I would say 2 weeks ago I knew of the guy's movies. I'd seen them all, but I couldn't say his name out loud. Now I know his name out loud, which is
look at that.
Look at that. But so there were two things that happened. Super Bowl, there was an op-ed that I think I sent you about a stripper who had issues with J.Lo's portrayal of pole dancing.
Yeah, I think you did.
Right? and I kind of like you. I clicked on it because I was like, "What? Come on! Like, what's the issue here?" But then the woman goes on and makes really good points about stripping and how J.Lo does not advocate for strippers.
Okay.
So there's this kind
does
of.
She have to? Does J.Lo have to advocate? Like, I feel like the fact that J.Lo was in a movie depicting a real life stripper, because Hustlers, that movie is based on actual and factual accounts of these people that actually happened. So isn't the fact that a person like J.Lo portraying a stripper, isn't that enough advocation for it, or does she have to then leave the work and then go out into the world and be like strippers and they need rights and all that?
According
to basically, does she have to do more? Is what I'm asking.
It depends what you mean by have to. If you do not advocate for something that's oppressed, right, and you just take it and you just show one side of it, you could argue that that's a form of appropriation, right? If somebody took black culture and did not advocate in any way for elements of that black culture, hip hop or something, I can't think of anything specific like stripping, but that they didn't advocate for the social movement to help make these lives better for strippers, then yeah, I think J.Lo should
get roasted.
I don't know about roasted, but like here's a person that's taking a very niche culture of stripping, right? And there's a lot of issues.
I don't feel like I think this is probably where I get off the boat with, because I don't think stripping is that niche of a culture.
Okay, well let me read this to you. Dancing women have always been discriminated against. But in a capitalist society, women like myself have been able to survive and thrive by working in sexual-oriented trades that can be lucrative as well as dangerous. Cashiers sometimes scoff or snicker. Do you work at a bar when I pay for groceries or coffee with $1 bills? I work in a casual restaurant. That happens. It's honestly, that was the moment of the article. I was like, come on, it's not that big of a deal. She says that I've been accused by strangers on the internet of child abuse for pole dancing. I've had to interview multiple tax accountants before finding someone trustworthy to help me file. I brace for a lecture about sexually transmitted infections whenever I go for a screening. Mentioning my job in a parenting group means that I might be asked to leave if others aren't comfortable with my work. I'm often told by strangers on the internet that I'm a victim and just don't realize it. She goes on, because that's more of the social elements of it. Female strippers are routinely challenged over or denied child custody due to the sexual nature of their labor. Strippers experience discrimination in finding housing, filing tax returns, and filling out job applications.
All this is true.
You know? In April of 2018, Donald Trump signed into law 2 bills, usually referred to as FOSTA SESTA, that supposedly aim to prevent sex trafficking by holding websites liable for user content. And so,
but in all of that, how is J.Lo not advocating for? How do we get to J.Lo's Super Bowl performance being offensive because she's not an advocate for the strippers?
She doesn't say it's so much offensive as cringeworthy to many real strippers. Because what's happening here is that they're showing J.Lo is showing a performance of this thing that she's learned from these women who are actually going through a real oppressive struggle, right?
See,
struggle.
I agree, but I'm also like there's been such a proliferation in like strip classes, like classes that basically teach you exactly what J.Lo ended up doing in that movie. Like I know that they've been sort of discriminated against, but they found their way into a niche setting, because yes, they are discriminated against, but it's by, I feel like it's by a small minority of motherfuckers that really discriminates against them, because everybody else is like, we don't care.
This is legislation. Legislation passed by
the legislation
Trump.
The legislation has always been sort of in place, and Trump. Let's not even talk about that motherfucker on this podcast, because we already know that he ain't shit, and everything that he does is not about like helping or like bolstering any help for any people. It's about like, well, we're not going to talk about what it's about. It's fuckery.
Basically, what that legislation did was it helped further make sex workers invisible on the internet. and makes it harder, she quotes, to communicate with each other, earn income, and screen our clients. It made sex workers and their families poorer, less safe, and more stigmatized. It became more dangerous and misunderstood again. Then she goes on, she says, quote, representation matters. So I asked other pole dancing strippers, specifically dancers of color, how they felt about J.Lo's mimicry at the time when their work and safety are being threatened by internet censorship. And she has responses. It's a Huffington Post article. J.Lo's Super Bowl pole dance was cringeworthy. Look it up. It's interesting. All she's really saying is it would have been super helpful if J.Lo for a moment at different points while making this movie, while going on and putting pole dancing front and center in the Super Bowl, just to come out and say, here are some of the issues that are affecting strippers. Here is a link to a website that you can go and, support strippers or support better laws to help make stripping easier for people. Right?
Okay. And we know for a fact that she didn't do any of that.
According to this woman, no. According to me, I don't know. I haven't really done all the research. Yeah, I'm assuming that this article is truthful. It's been vetted by Huffington Post, but who knows? I'm not saying that there's something inherently wrong with J.Lo. I'm just saying if you're going to take something niche like that from people who are struggling and oppressed, maybe go out on a limb and say, I advocate for these people. Here's what you can do to help them. Right?
I agree, but Mahershala Ali, he won a fucking Oscar for Moonlight.
Yeah,
he wasn't out there advocating for
he lives
gay
it
rights.
Though. He lives well. Okay, yeah, he doesn't live.
You know
he wasn't
saying?
gay he wasn't a gay character in the movie.
Yes, he was.
He was gay in the movie.
You just saw it. How did you not know that?
Well, I was gonna save it for the next episode, but I've not seen the last 20 minutes. Is it revealed in the last 20 minutes that he's gay?
Holy shit! That's the whole point. The whole point of the movie is that this kid who he takes under his wing, he puts him on because he's a gay man, and that little kid was a gay man, and he puts him on.
Okay. Well, I was right when you called me, I was about to put it on. I was stretching. I was going to watch the last 20 minutes so I could talk about it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, I don't know how you missed that because I feel like it comes up so early. I feel like it comes up so early.
I have one more point. This is kind of a connection to the Oscars, also about advocating for a cause, right? So Natalie Portman, I don't know if you heard about this. She wore an Oscars protest cape, right?
Yeah, the one with all the women on it,
right?
Women directors and stuff on it.
So it was embroidered with the names of snubbed female directors, right?
Right.
So then Rose McGowan actually came out against this in a Twitter post.
Rose McGowan came out against that?
Yep.
She needs to have some seats. I really do feel like that.
Right. So she says, I find, let's see, the whole Twitter post from Rose McGowan goes like this. Some thoughts on Natalie Portman and her Oscar protests. The kind of protest that gets rave reviews from the mainstream media for its bravery. Brave? Mm-hmm. No, not by a long shot. More like an actress acting the part of someone who cares, as so many of them do. I find Portman's type of activism deeply offensive to those of us who are actually doing the work. I'm not writing this out of bitterness. I'm writing it out of disgust. I just want her and other actresses to walk the walk.
Wow, Rose. Okay.
So
okay, well, I mean, where was your protest at, Rose?
I think she has been kind of doing that stuff. She's been on the front lines against Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement from the beginning. She was one of the first people that came out and said, "This is what happened specifically in details. Fuck this guy. This stuff needs to end." And the question is, has Natalie Portman done that? Again, I haven't done my own research on Natalie Portman to determine whether or not I personally consider her an advocate for women's movement. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or women's rights. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Rose McGowan. I especially like that she's been as vocal about the shit in Hollywood that... I mean, I definitely consider Rose McGowan hashtag a rogue white woman. I mean... she didn't have to pull back the curtain on some of the fuckery going on, but she did at a cost to her own career and her monetary bottom line. So I commend her for it, but I feel like, and yeah, you're right. I don't know enough about Portman as an advocate to really shit on her, but I think if anybody's gonna try to bring umbrance or issue to what was clearly like what we've been talking about for the last 25 minutes with the Oscars and their for lack of a better term their blindness to a lot of shit. I'd say that the cape and thing, like, because she didn't have to do that, but she did, and I think it should be not shit on, but commendable, or I don't know.
I kind of agree with you on this one, I think, because at the bottom of the post it says, "This isn't the first time Portman has spoken out against a lack of female directors receiving awards. In 2018, she said, and here are the all-male nominees," while presenting the award for Best Director at the Golden Globes. That's some shade. And she hasn't commented personally on McGowan's statement, but McGowan concludes her post with, "That is activism." And she's saying, "As for me, I'll be over here raising my voice and fighting for change without any compensation. Until you and your fellow actresses get real, do us all a favor and hang up your embroidered activist cloak. It doesn't hang right." If J.Lo wore a cloak and on the back of the cloak during the Super Bowl had all of the issues that this stripper brought up in her op-ed post, I wonder if that would have been enough activism.
Me too.
Activism.
Activision. Well, Activision is a
Let's just talk about video games.
Developer. But here's the thing. In that same Super Bowl performance, J.Lo did that bit with the kids in cages. She was
right.
Like, do you have to, like, how much activism can you do in one performance? I feel like she I was like, rather than focusing on the strippers, she was like, I'm gonna focus on the fucking children in cages.
Right.
So how does like, I don't understand, like, how you can get from being like, well, J.Lo's not an advocate for strippers, so cringeworthy, blah blah blah. But literally in the same performance, she was like, oh yeah, by the way, kids in cages, we should probably do something about that.
Well, think.
And granted, go ahead.
I was gonna say, think if like a white writer and director made a movie about persons of color, right? And in that movie, they didn't really show you much of the struggle of persons of color, of what they go through. It was just more kind of like a glamorized version of persons of the lives of persons of color, right? Because that's what Hustlers is. And we've talked about this about the movie, that it's not quite gritty enough, even though it's rated R. You go into the strip club, it's not quite a strip club. It's like this slightly sanitized version, as good as J.Lo's thong performance was.
Well, I mean, I feel like for a lot of, I feel like it would have been hard to ask a lot of those actresses to get more hardcore than they did in that film.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was asking a lot for those people to be like, yeah, why don't we up the ante a little bit?
I don't know if
so I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying necessarily that that's what we needed. More nudity or more explicit content. I think it was more. It didn't really show you any of the negatives of stripping, or what sex workers go through when they do that type of job. It's like watching a movie about being a waiter, and all you get is like this sanitized, like Chili's, flair version of being a waiter. You don't get the kind of grittiness of what it does to your body. What it does to you after psychologically after a long time. What was that?
Do you remember that? Do you ever see that movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, exactly. That's this version of Waiting Tables, is that Ryan Reynolds waiting movie. Just bullshit. Which that movie at least I can appreciate because it has jokes in it. Anyways.
Yeah. What else you got?
I got one last thing, and then we can move on to our next section. So we got a little Stranger Things teaser.
I did. I saw it.
Yep. And basically, go on.
No, I was gonna say you finally get to say I was right, which is a rarity on this podcast.
It's just a rarity in my life, man. Cherishing it.
I was right.
Yeah, you were actually right about it. Hopper does make an appearance.
Shower in my rightness.
Although this is I'm already off this. I saw the trailer and I immediately got off the train for this.
You were you were half on the train, anyways.
Yeah, because that third season was a damn travesty, man. Come on.
So the teaser basically, it's like you're in Russia and there's some people doing a railroad, and then it kind of pans to the side of one extra, and it turns out to be Hopper himself, David Harbour.
So apparently Hopper survived an explosion from
Right.
last season and now is on a chain gang in Russia somehow.
Yeah, exactly. So Screen Rant says, the key to Hopper's survival lies in the structure of the gate room itself. Stranger Things Season 3 opened with a similar malfunction in the Russians' Kamchatka gate, with a number of key technicians vaporized in an energy surge. This appears to have led the Russian scientists to realize that they could only open a gate at Hawkins, where the barrier between the real world and the Upside Down had previously been torn apart by 11. And anyways, it goes on to sort of talk about blast radiuses and people being thrown around like rag dolls.
They're going to have to do some straight retconning for that bullshit. Yeah, no, I'm off the board.
If he'd had fallen into the safe
board.
zone, he'd potentially be badly injured and certainly knocked out, but still alive.
Get the fuck out, dog. No. Because the last moment we see Hopper, he is standing on the precipice of the fucking explosion, looking at old girl. What's her face?
Winona Ryder.
He's looking at Winona, and she watches him get. No, dog. No, there's no way. No, I refuse.
Yes.
I refuse to suspend that level of disbelief, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it.
So you're not going to be tuning in for Stranger Things Season 4?
I mean, not immediately. I mean, I might get to it down. There is some other shit on the junket, on the docket that needs to get to before I get to that fuckery. Because no.
It's going to break
like,
my daughter's heart.
There is no amount of. I feel like I love the fact that your daughters love this shit, because that means that they would have loved the 80s, the time that we grew up in, which was the greatest time to be alive. Mm-hmm. I'll fight anyone who says that the 80s wasn't the best decade to grow up in. I'll fight them. You cannot prove to me that the 80s was the best decade to grow up in. And based on the fact that Stranger Things is so popping, bangarang. You already know.
What about the Coreys? Was it their best decade to grow up in? Corey Haim, Corey Feldman.
Listen. I think it was. I mean, despite all the fuckery that happened to him, and the thing is, it was. But no, and these guys were like initially like some of the first advocates for victims and shit, but nobody was listening to them.
No, I know.
Nobody was listening to him. Corey, what was it? Feldman was one of the first motherfuckers to be like, "Yo, they out here fucking around with us, yo."
He's still saying it.
Yeah. Because his man died off of that shit.
Yep.
His man died off of that shit. Killed himself off of that shit. So, of course, he's going to still be like, yo, I was telling y'all this whole time. So, yes, it was. For both of them. Maybe not. Maybe not the other one who died, but definitely for Corey.
Definitely for one of the Coreys. It was a good time for most of it. Until it wasn't. That's what the 80s was. It was fantastic for a while.
It was.
And then it got dark.
And then it got mad fucked up.
That's pretty much what happened in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like fashion, music, and yes, I'm sort of biased, but we got Madonna out of the
Particularly
80s.
On your fashion.
Oh, fuck you. That fashion was amazing. You could literally just wear whatever.
I have not
wear whatever.
I haven't seen you wear anything but the Michael Jackson jackets or a members-only jacket in about 20 years.
Yeah, well, see, because that was the gangsterest fashion you could have back then.
Back then are the key words there.
I'd rock that shit right now. If I could find a Michael Jackson jacket that fit me right now, you think I wouldn't just rock that shit every way?
How many days in a row would you wear it?
I mean, as long as it didn't smell, basically.
All right, good. Good to know.
As long as it didn't smell.
I'm your host, Lawrence Dial, and I'm going to buy Rob Robinson a Michael Jackson jacket and put him to task.
Carmen Robinson, and I'm gonna wear the shit out of it. Like, it's literally gonna smell like shit because I'm gonna wear it out.
Oh, I forgot my thing. Hold on, let me do this again. I'm Lawrence Dial, that motherfucker, and this has been What We Into.
You just fix it in post, motherfucker.
All right. Well,
all right.
You want to take a 2-minute break and then come back to What We Into?
Yeah. Perfect.
Oh, lovely. Clear the throats.
Oh,
I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it rolling, and I'll edit it later.
Oh man.
Nice.
Literally sweating my ass off. Like my apartment right now is like the Sahara. I have the internal heater on because there's no central heating here. There's like basically like a furnace on the wall kind of thing.
Uh-huh.
So I've got that turned on. I've got 2 space heaters going at the same time, and I'm still fucking shivering.
Well, you're holding it together pretty nicely here.
Well, that's because I'm a goddamn soldier.
Soldier. Soldier.
Fortune. SOLDIER. That kind of soldier.
Mm-hmm.
One would even say a soldier of love.
I'd say a gangster of love.
Oh, there we go.
Is that your butt plug?
Yep, that was my butt plug. Pulled it right out. Oh, God. Ooh, so chilly. I wonder. Oh, I wonder. I can't believe you didn't.
What?
The Moonlight thing. The Moonlight thing has got me fucked up because I'm like, how did you not know?
What was it?
Like, even in the last 20 minutes, it doesn't get revealed. His whole like that man is a gay man helping this young gay boy come into his own. How did you?
That's the idea. That's the idea because
Yes.
it's not really revealed in the movie unless I missed a line that's explicitly revealed it. Then it's I can see what the subtle suggestion is, but like I don't think it's explicit.
You didn't clock that. You didn't clock that from the top. You didn't clock that this gay man took this young boy under his wing for that exact reason.
I just don't assume because we don't see a guy fucking some other girl in the movie that he's gay.
So why did you think that Marshala got the Oscar for it then? Because that performance was so great and so great. He was in the movie for like he got supporting for that, right? That was the best supporting.
I honestly, and we're still recording, so I guess this is on record. I don't know from that, and not saying that he was bad in any way. I just don't know if that was an Oscar-level performance.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't, right?
It wasn't, and neither
right,
was the because didn't he win again for playing another gay man?
He's gay in Green Book too, which I didn't see. I didn't know that.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, God damn. Okay.
Yes, that character. Yes.
All right, bring this up again when we talk about it. I'm gonna go pee and then.